and reaction. The key is you gotta make sure that the lapel is positioned tight and you have good control. So we're here, posture's up, here, constantly pulling it out, disrupting here. Good. So I have that lapel. I want to break this posture once, keep postures up again. Good. I'm going 1, 2, 3 here. Good. Side the heel, reset this hand here. Okay. If I feel him pushing the posture up right here, I'm going to take my left hand, go under his elbow, I'm going to put it on my right wrist, and I'm going to lift that elbow up and go into what I call the deadbolt. It's the same thing as this, except when I can't reach that hand, I go under here, and I'm go here, and I'm going to lift that elbow higher. It's almost like a slicer, but it enables me to drive him this way here. Okay. From here, I look at this left hand. If he's not committed to this left hand posturing, okay, he's not going to posture. So now I know I have options, either to the back or to the choke. My left hand is here for a reason. It's breaking his posture, but it's also ready to fish for a lapel or a collar. But his collar is really too far to the right, okay? And it's easy for him to defend. What I want is the lapel. So as we're here, okay, and as he begins to maybe posture a little bit, you kind of play this game where you know you have his arm, he's not going anywhere. And then you get here, you touch that arm, don't dip his head, okay? And then you move him maybe to the shoulder here, to the armpit. He's not threatened. He lifts his head. Lifts the head, you have this lapel here, okay? And then you feed it just deep enough to go under the neck. If you grab it like this, it's not deep enough. You gotta feed it to where it's deep enough. So if you have this, he cannot escape that arm. He shouldn't be able to. Because there's also this game that you play. If your knee is on his back of his head right here, remember this right here is also essentially a key lock. It's like a crooked arm bar, but more of a key lock because he can't escape this arm. So in this process, as he starts posturing up, you may go here, he'll defend it, and you go back to this. When you play this game, which one is it going to be? Okay? Right? When you start messing with this right here, you go here, you start messing with it in here. And now you begin to attack here. You go here, foot back, take here, and then you go here. He postures his head up, and then all of a sudden, he finds himself in a neck trap. Several options from here. One basic one here now is, look, I fed the lapel, okay, to my left hand. Now, this hand, I'm just gonna go right underneath. He can escape that right hand of his. It doesn't matter, as I shoot that hand underneath, and I engage my hip. Most simple choke, okay? But remember, his elbow is stuck in the V of my hip. Knee, V, shoulder, here, okay? Because remember, you also have maybe a wrist lock here, okay? And then when you threaten this, if he's posturing with that arm, yes, he'll save that arm. The tricky part is to get this right here underneath his neck. So if this lapel is long enough and you look at it here, you can also just do this and wrap it. Sometimes it's short. If it's short and he postures up, you loop it through, but you gotta really reach for it, like you're reaching for his collar, like I'd be reaching here. But you see how tight that is? Because I'm the one tightening it, so it's not available. Posture up, okay? Conventionally, in this situation, okay, if I didn't have the lapel arm trap, I could reach and grab this collar myself right here, okay? But because this lapel is doing work, look what happens to that collar. It's tight. And now I'm here. So I gotta be aware of all these factors, okay? So as I'm here messing with this, messing with the wrist, messing with everything, this is already that long. Just grab it here, loop it through here, and then just go behind the head and you finish, all right? There's one option. If you wanted to be a little bit more advanced, okay, there's this. So as you're here, as I'm here, yeah, and my hip is already out, I have back exposure, I have a lot of stuff, okay? If he really commits to posturing up right here, okay, it becomes easy to feed this here. Now from here, a couple things are gonna happen. He knows the more I pull that way, the more pressure on the neck. And oftentimes they push their weight into you, trying to get the head out from underneath, because he knows if he dips his head underneath, he unwraps it. So I've noticed that this happens. It pushed on top of you right here. And I kind of don't have the angle. Yes, right here, because he wants to dip his head out. And now his left hand is the only one available to reach over, grab my elbow, okay? To unloop his head. Yeah, that right there, okay? So now from here, as I block this off, I switch it for the leg here, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is basically just sweep him here, and I'm gonna rotate him to the camera, right here, and I'm gonna come up, still, with this lapel, and hooking this leg here. Two options here. You wanna go basic? Pull, lift, okay? But this right, but your elbow is tight. Your elbow can't be here. Elbow's tight to your like thigh hip, so that when you lift, your hip engages. It's hip and lift. Okay, there's one. There's also bow and arrow, two. Or my favorite, you create space and you throw your left leg over here and you say, I'm sorry, and you shin to the face. Okay? But this has to be super tight. Alright? So that's your option to the left. You just have you do basically flowers. And again, you want to go basic, just gonna go for basically the lapel arm trap, one beat choke. 1, 2, oops, sorry. Look, push. You get the hip out, I'm here. And now it's nice and tight. Again here, yes, right here, pull it, yeah, yes, 1, 2. Right here, look, move the hips away, same thing. 1, and then I'm gonna frame the head and engage the hip. That's 1. If before I can frame the head, he shoves his head to the right, I'm gonna let him, and I'm gonna go underneath. On me here. Take your blue belt wrap it around my head, and I'm lift. Or you go sit back here, create a space. And now from here, it's 1, 2, and you open the shin on the face, and you tilt it. Or if you're too close, here. Same concept. Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. The key is to have the lapel tight.